Hey, how y'all doing? Good! Woo! I love to hear it. Can we give it up for our minimum wage warriors, our service workers real quick? Hey, I like to see it, I like to see it. Who else is going to turn that tablet around and ask for 25% too? I joke, I worked in a movie theater over the summer, the AMC theater. I had a really good time working there, but it's hard because I'm an engineer and I come back and there's like this big superiority complex. Like I asked this one guy, like, oh, what'd you do over the summer? He's like, oh, nothing really, just 2 internships in China working on like AI and computer vision. Well, how about you? I'm like, oh yeah, I scraped junior mints off the floor. My first day working there, I'm not even 15 minutes in. I'm going and I'm cleaning this theater with this guy, and these 2 kids walk in. And we can't have anyone in the theater while we're cleaning for some reason. So we're like, hey, if you could just wait out, we'll be like 5 minutes. You can come back in, we're good. And so those 2 kids go outside. This guy and I finish up cleaning the theater. We walk out, and those 2 kids find their parents, specifically the dad. And they ask the dad, like, well, why do they have to be in there cleaning? And I was about to explain, like, oh, it's just we wanted to look nice, whatever customer service voice. And the dad says, oh, they're in there cleaning because they made bad choices in life. I felt really bad for the people that had to stay and work there after I left, because it's like they worked their asses off. I'm really proud of them. And they asked me like, oh, well, what are you doing, like going back to school? And I've got to be like, yeah, I'm going back to college and Daddy Biden's going to pay for it all. Barbenheimer was the big event of the summer. It was really annoying. There was these 2 types of people that go to watch Barbie that get on my nerves. The first one wasn't as bad. It was like the Pikmin girls, you know. It was more like sweeping up all the sequins and feathers and shit for some reason that they wore. But then there was also like single men that would go and watch Barbie, and then they'd walk out and be mad at me because they didn't like it. They were like, oh, that damn woke movie, whatever. It's like Oppenheimer's in the next theater over. You could go explain IMAX film or some bullshit to whoever you want to explain it to. And I don't even get why they would complain to me about the movie being bad. It's not like we keep the actors in the back and we're like, oh, can we reshoot that scene real quick? There was this one case where there was these 2, it was a mother and a daughter left in the theater after Barbie. And I like go and I'm standing, I'm getting ready to clean, and I hear them in there and I'm like, God damn it, I gotta wait for them to get out. And I listen into the mom and she's crying. It's like, oh, she really felt Barbie, and she's talking to her daughter. She's like, I'm sorry, you guys see me cry. I really felt that movie and it connected to me. And you know, Ken's a pussy. Has anyone heard of this movie, Sound of Freedom? Oh, good. So it's this movie where this guy is like fighting child trafficking or whatever. I never watched it, but somehow people online came convinced that like AMC theaters didn't want you to see it because they don't like making money off of showing movies, and that we are all in on this grand conspiracy to traffic children. And there was this one guy who was in this electric wheelchair, and I'm waiting for him to get out, right? And I'm standing in the lobby cleaning, and I hear him wheeling down, and he looks up at me, and he sees me cleaning, and he's just like, I want to say I just watched Sound of Freedom, and thank you for your service. It was nice to see the guy like in the wheelchair though, like being against child trafficking. He's like the anti-Stephen Hawking. There was this one thing online going around that we're convinced that we were putting nanobots like into the soda that would make you vote liberal. I don't even know what. And people online were believing it. They're like, oh my God, this is so true and real, you know. And we actually have a touchscreen like Coke machine that you fill up yourself. So I don't even know how they were convinced that we were putting nanobots in the soda. This one lady came up to me, older lady, bless her heart, and she asked me the price of the refill of the soda, as if I cared if she went up to the machine and got a refill. Because I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, you want a refill? Well, just answer this one question on the screen. And so I go up to help her get a refill, because she's just not understanding the machine at all. And I'm like, okay, what flavor do you want? She's like, oh, I want a Dr. Pepper. And I'm like, okay, hit the Dr. Pepper button. And she goes. So I gotta walk her through the whole step, the whole thing. I fill up her soda, we get the ice, everything that. And then she's like, oh, it's not done yet. And I'm like, what's wrong? She's like, well, where's the nanobots? The worst of it was this one night, we're connected to this mall, and the mall has a food court, and somehow they're doing some work on it, and there's a gas leak in the food court. And because that gas comes into the theater, we get all the alarms going off. Like, we got to evacuate the theater. And we're trying to get people out. And I didn't have to evacuate the Sound of Freedom Theater, thank God. But even the one I went to was showing some shitty rom-com. And I go in there and I'm like, okay, everyone, I don't know what's going on, but we got to evacuate. There's an emergency. Everyone, please follow me. We'll get out. Half the people stand up. The other half of the people sit in their seats and say, what about our money? Are we going to get a refund? Like, what am I supposed to do? There's a gas leak happening. Like, if you want to stay in your seats and die due to inhaling gas, that's fine. Have a blast. Have an AMC awesome day. Thank you.